Hello to everyone in the Holy Trinity Greek Orthodox Cathedral community and all of our friends. This is Father Jonathan. I hope you're doing well. As I noted in the past few reflections, we are still struggling with our audio-visual capabilities for these videos. Not all of our audio-visual capabilities, but for these videos. And as we navigate how to better produce them and to have the right equipment to keep doing it, we will be presenting these reflections in audio format only on both Facebook and YouTube, where you'll be watching these now. But hopefully we will be able to return to our previous programming, which was including video as well. As you know, we have been reflecting on the book of Psalms, but particularly the usage of the Psalms in our liturgical worship. And we began in the previous reflection with a conversation on the first psalm that we read in the New Day, that is during this evening service of Vespers, because in the Jewish practice, which the Orthodox Church has inherited, the day begins at sunset. And so the first psalm that we chant, the first psalm that we read in the Vesper service is Psalm 103, according to the Septuagint usage. And we talked about in the previous video how the very first thing that we do in the day ought to be to give glory and thanksgiving and praise to God for the very act of creation. And throughout this psalm, we will be reflecting on different aspects of creation. And without any further ado, we'll read the next section of the psalm, which is a little bit longer. And so we wanted to break it up for a little bit easier effort in understanding and meditating and reflecting on it. The psalm continues, "He established the earth on its stable foundation. It shall not be moved unto ages of ages. The deep like a garment is his covering. The waters shall stand upon the mountains. At your rebuke they shall flee. At the sound of your thunder they shall be afraid. The mountains rise up and the plains sink down to the place you founded for them. You set a boundary that they shall not pass over, neither shall it return to cover the earth. You are he who sends springs into the valleys. The waters shall pass between the mountains. They shall give drink to all the wild animals of the field. The wild asses shall quench their thirst. The birds of the heavens shall dwell beside them. They shall sing from the midst of the rocks. You are he who waters the mountains from his higher places. The earth shall be satisfied with the fruit of your works. You are he who causes the grass to grow for cattle, and the green plant for the service of man, to bring forth bread from the earth, and wine gladdens the heart of man, to brighten his face with oil, and bread strengthens man's heart. The trees of the plain shall be full of fruit, the cedars of Lebanon which you planted. There the sparrows shall make their nests. The house of the heron takes the head among them. The high mountains are for the deer, the cliffs a refuge for the rabbits. He made the moon for seasons. The sun knows its setting. You established darkness, and it was night, wherein all the wild animals of the forest will prowl about. The young lions roar and snatch their prey, and seek their food from God. The sun rises, and they gather together, and they shall be put to bed in their dens." Now, in this portion of the psalm, we hear of the many diverse and wonderful things that God has created. The ground upon which we walk, the vast waters of the oceans, the heights of the mountains, the plains upon which the plants grow, the valleys and the many waters of the earth are all the work of God's hand. We are reminded of the creation of the firmament separating the waters above and the waters below that God established on the second day of creation, and his ongoing sustaining of his creatures, giving them drink from the waters that flow here on earth. All of us are reminded that God's mighty works are not limited to a distant past. God does not create and depart from his creation, leaving it up to its own devices. No, God continues to engage with all of his creatures as we start the new day at Vespers. We know that God will be with us. Today we ought to remember that we are in God's loving embrace and under his tender care. Rejoice in this. Give thanks to God through the evening, from the setting of the sun through the dawning of the sun, unto yet another sunset. As we go through the day, thank God for our food and the drink that sustains us. Thank God for ever being present, the one in whose tender embrace we are. And if we can start our day with this mentality, even when difficulties arise, we will have a sense that all will be well because we are with God. It may not look the way we want. We may find ourselves wanting something a little different, but we know that ultimately we are in God's care and all will be well in the world. God bless you. It's such a joy to be speaking to you. Hopefully we'll be back on track to have audio and video in the coming week or so. Until then, please don't hesitate to reach out, email us, call us, send us a message on social media, leave a note in the comment section, whatever you want. We're here for you. We love you dearly. God bless you and have a beautiful rest of your day.